All right, hello friends. My name is Doug and this is
Dale.
Welcome to a unique special edition of Third Stall Garage. We're not in the shop, as you can tell. This is probably going to be part 38, if you can't tell, of the restoration of a 1966 Volkswagen Beetle named Hendrick. And Dale, where are we?
Yeah, so, we had chatted a little about ending for the summer, and really, I was kind of curious. I had gotten lost. This 1 year journey has been taking longer than a year.
A whole chapter of our life.
Yes, and it was just a chance to go back and say, okay, how did this all start? And even some pictures that we haven't seen, if somebody has been watching the whole video series from several years ago. But this is a synopsis. I definitely have lots of family and people are interested, but maybe not necessarily interested in spending 3 years of their life watching every video. So there's a lot of people I know that are interested in the summary. And so, we also have access to this studio through one of my kids. So that's super cool.
This is fun. So it's going to be a little time of reflection. I'm curious, how many people do you think have watched every episode?
Ooh, I know I have.
I have, only because I have to edit them. I think that's the only reason why.
So
actually,
there's two.
It's two.
There's two.
Actually, it'd be kind of fun if you're somebody that has watched every episode of this Hendrick restoration, post a comment below with your name or maybe where you're from if you want, so we can just,
or even a majority. Let's pare it down a little.
Do you think there's nobody?
If you're following the journey at all, it'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Anyway,
okay.
So here's I really do feel like we're at a nice critical turning point here this summer. So I decided to go. So you've seen none of these pictures.
I'm going into this blind.
And so some of this is going to be stuff you don't know. And then I've got some things. So I'm kind of curious about this. All right. So we start out, this is pre-Doug. I did not even know you when this first picture comes up. All right.
The good old days.
There we
before
go.
I ruined your life and your car.
Spring break. That is not Doug. That, in case you don't know, I'm that one.
I've never seen you with that much hair.
Yeah, I've got a lot more hair.
Is that Fred?
That is Fred.
That's Fred.
So that is me and Fred, and we have just gotten back from a spring break trip where we went down to the Gulf of Mexico and we went to New Orleans. We're in college. And that is the college car. I got this. This is my 1972 Super
72.
Beetle with an automatic stick. Its name was Willie. Which stood for Wilhelmina. And my tagline was, Willie, she'll get you there and might get you back. But that is my first Beetle, and I got it. I might as well have just written on the note. I got it by leaving a note on the windshield. And I should have just written, I'm a sucker, take my money. But I said, I love this car. Contact me if you want to sell it. And then, of course, I couldn't leave a phone number because, nobody has cell phones and stuff like that.
What'd you buy it for?
Love. It might have been $1,000, no more than $1,500. I think I paid $1,500 for it because, yeah.
Okay.
And then sold it.
Was that your first car you ever owned?
That was the first car I ever owned.
72 Beetle.
Yep.
First car, I did not know this. First car I ever owned, 72 Beetle. It was yellow. Bought it for $750. Drove it through 3 years of college and sold it for $500.
Nice.
So not all bad.
There we go.
It got me most places most of the time. Sometimes I had to push start it myself. Sometimes I had to run around the back and connect two wires and push the carb to get it started, but got me there. No heat whatsoever.
Oh, no. Yeah, all the body was very rusted out.
Yeah.
So this is...
I remember a car that looked like that once.
Yeah, this is... I at one time I owned two Beetles. So this is Hendrick when I first bought it. And I've heard, I have not run into him since, but I've run into people who know him and still call it John's car. His name was John. He's John. And you got John's car. Yeah, he always said he should have never sold that car. John, if you're watching, thank you for selling me your car. It is my dream, and hopefully what we are doing to it only makes you smile, because it's going to come out better than what I bought.
Yeah.
But he saved it. So thanks, John, for your work
Yep.
in saving this car. This is one of my favorite pictures, and my kid who does the video, who's doing the video now, has an eye for pictures, and he actually took this picture, and it's one of my favorites. I posted that on Facebook, got all kinds of likes, including some people from Michigan who said, "Is that John's car?" So at some point maybe it'll be my car, but evidently this car had a history before it. So
I do look
just
at
like
this
it.
picture differently than I used to. 2 years ago, I would have looked at it and go, look at that clear blue sky, sea blue sky. Oh, there's a beautiful sunset. What a great, you can see the colors reflected. And now I look at it and go, huh, that trim doesn't match up with that trim at all.
Yes. And if you went underneath it, you'd find even more.
Yes.
And now it is the spring break of 2022.
2022.
Do you
2
remember
years
where we
ago.
were?
No, my memory's horrible, Dale. Somewhere hunting?
No. Tybee Island.
Tybee. Yes.
We were at Tybee Island, and you didn't know it, but we were going to actually start.
Oh, yeah, the beach house.
Yeah, so we're at the beach house, and we were going to start this journey. And unbeknownst to you, I had gotten us the coveralls, and look how nice and new they
were
are.
so clean.
Yeah.
And stiff. We hadn't done anything in them yet.
Nothing.
We also had no idea what we were in for.
Well, that is very true. So we have no idea, but we know that we're starting that fall. So it's April 2022.
Yep. Oh no!
And
there's the Mustang.
It's Labor Day weekend. Now we're at it.
So let's
You're
put captions to this picture. What's Doug thinking?
Oh,
let's tear this puppy apart. Why did I say yes to this? Huh.
And here we are.
Here we are.
Labor Day weekend. Camp's over, and it's like I drove it up, and it's 2022.
We, for those of you who are familiar with third style, we rotated the car sideways, so the Beetle was crossways in the front, so we could attack it faster.
And then this is brother Ron was there, and
Yep.
and Ron's got a '79 triple black.
Yes.
Epilogue.
Yep.
Beetle, and so we drove around. We took some almost like last pictures, right? I mean, like if this goes horribly, at least you'll have some pictures.
Yep.
This is the last time it was together.
It was a moment. I remember feeling very strongly that it would be nice to have everything go back together right.
Yeah.
Knowing that every single nut and bolt and screw has come out. It will either be in good shape or we'll put a new one in. And you could see a lot of things like this had been painted, but it was just sticking out of the hole. Whereas now, nobody ever took that out before.
Yeah.
So we'll take it apart, clean it, grease it, fix it up if there's bushings that are worn or holes that are worn, and it will be right when it goes back in, which will just feel good.
Yeah. It's so true. So there, again, I thought that was dramatic. that looks pretty good.
It kind of is dramatic.
It hasn't looked that good for a long time. And then I do remember somewhere in here, I made the comment, Doug, you made me turn. You made me. Notice how I say that. Doug, I brought my car to third stall and you turned it into your Mustang. This was a nice car. And then I love that picture. Like there's nothing, oh yeah, Studley. That's my nickname now. It really did feel cool. All right. So now we're really getting into it, pulling it apart. It's Labor Day. Here it is. September 9.
Okay.
It's one for the books because September 9 is when we had discovered all the Bondo. And that's when I wrote in my journal, in it now.
Yeah.
That was the moment. We hadn't gotten there quite yet in this picture. We were messing around with, can we, take paint off with chemicals?
Yep.
Do we grind it off? How do we get the paint off? But that's when we started to find with the discs, and we found all this Bondo and
thick.
Yeah.
It was thick in places. Like A lot of places 1/8 inch, quite a few places 1/4 inch thick Bondo, overlapping welds that they would just, edge weld and then slather it down. Somebody was really good at making it look good.
Yeah.
Whoever did the finishing of the Bondo was better than the guy who did the welding, it seems like.
In terms of, those are different skills.
Yeah.
And I remember you were the one who saw it before I did. And probably because you'd watched more videos than me of just how bad it can be.
Yeah.
But I remember you saying to me, like, what do you think? What do we do? And this is the decision spot, because if we keep going, it's not,
Yeah.
And I do remember saying to you, well, we're in it now.
Yeah.
And that's what I wrote in my journal on September 9th.
How far do we want to go down this rabbit hole?
Yeah. And
Yep.
I have we'll get to that toward the end, but it's like, it's 2022. We talked about this in 2019, and this was supposed to be a let's work on it for one winter, and then I'll get it painted in the summer, and maybe you'll help me in 2023 put it back together.
Yeah, that was the original plan.
That was the original plan. And I was like, yeah, this will be great. I just won't have my car for one summer.
Yeah, and then I'll be back working on my Mustang
And you'll
again.
be back at the Mustang. That was the original.
Yeah.
This is a momentous part because we had actually ground off all the paint as best we could and realized, you know what? Number one, there's a lot of welds here
Yep.
that need to be redone. And we had to decide, do we sandblast it?
Yep.
Because you just can't get it all off.
Yep.
And it was like, okay, now what do we do? And so it's November. It's getting cold. We can no longer work with, the shop doors open here.
Yep. Yeah.
And
God bless our neighbors.
oh my gosh, I still can't believe it.
And once, if not twice a week, we'd have like 3 angle grinders going, you, Ron, and I, with wire brushes.
For 4 or 5 hours.
For 4 or 5
constant.
hours. I mean, you could hear it a block away in the neighborhood, and I had not a single neighbor complain.
I can't believe that. I kept waiting for the cops to show up.
So glad for all the times I've mowed their yards or plowed their driveway in the winter to earn some goodwill. But so Dale, third stall, my garage, I've got 2 stall garages. The side I was in, it was very nicely well lit and heated. And Dale spent what seemed like most of the winter in the other side where
I can tell you, November, sandblast, or actually not sandblast, media blast. It's
Media
glass
blast.
beads,
Okay.
but media blast. December, media blast. January, media blast. I finished media blasting
I'm getting the sense he's whining a little bit
in the
here.
very beginning of February. And then we decided, and evidently this is the way you're supposed to do it anyway, inside out. And
Inside
so
out.
we went into the luggage tray
Yep.
where, again, how many?
Oh, yeah, middle of the car working outward.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so we had to just take all of these patches.
That was one of the things we looked at first, like, oh, this isn't too bad. And then you start looking at it further, and there's just pinhole after pinhole after pinhole and overlapping weld over overlapping weld. And we ended up, cutting all of this joint out and then butt welding it together, replace this whole section and this whole section and this. But, dude, it's nice now.
Yeah. Well, and
is.
that's the thing. And I think about the other piece of it, like, yeah, it's all going to get covered in carpet. Now we know that it's done well,
Yeah.
better, but also how much learning.
Yes.
And so much freer to learn in a trunk that's going to get covered in carpet.
Yeah.
So here, this is a significant moment. So it's
I'm not sure. I'm fairly sure I would have said no if we had known originally that we had to do quarter panels. I didn't think.
oh.
I mean, if we knew
Well,
we
see,
were,
and that's one of my questions at the end, but you're
Okay.
right in there. So it's May in this picture. It's May of 2023, and you're getting ready to go to camp.
Yeah.
So we're about to end, and we clearly have not finished. And so, but we are working on the outside of the car now.
Yeah.
And it is at this point, so it was a little less than a year ago,
Yep.
when we're standing there, scratching our chins and heads about how this quarter panel's going to go. It's the first thin metal outside, really the real challenge.
Yeah.
And we're standing there looking at it, and that's when I feel like under your breath said, I can't believe you let me do this to your car. And I went, what? You said you could do this. And you're like, oh, no, we're fine. Doug is a vision person. Wisdom, stupidity. No, I'm so thankful. And it's all working out.
It is.
But your confidence carried me through, and at times I would hope that maybe I offered something to carry us through. So
we were both probably low together at the wrong.
We were
wrong
both
moment.
low, going, all right, how's this gonna go? And the summer is here, and that's what Doug. That's how third stall happens.
That's how it works. Tons of learning though.
Yeah. Well, and I would have never. Yeah, and then we're kind of getting in some of the ending stuff, but it's like I would have never done something like this. And I so appreciate that in our friendship. And I've seen you, even with the Subaru, it's like, wow, do you know how to do all that engine stuff? And it's like, no, I don't know how to do it, but I have tools. Let's use them.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. And I tend to see the limitations instead of the opportunity.
Yeah.
And
there are so many good people in the world to help you, whether it's posting on I often revert to YouTube or Facebook forums.
Yeah.
You tend to go to the Samba.
Yep.
We even emailed Chris Vallone a question about door gaps.
Yeah.
And he responded back with what the door gaps could be. So, there's always a way to figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got to believe that.
So we're in 2023, and now it feels a lot more recent. So yeah, totally. And this is the kind of stuff and we mentioned it in the video. I've seen all kinds of videos, but people they put in the rear clip, but they never show it with the bumper, or they put in a front clip, and they don't, and it's like getting all of that.
We started right up here.
Yeah.
This is a whole new piece off of the parts Beetle as well. So getting that in, then getting the engine cover in, and then getting the rear clip or the rear apron in, and then getting we had to totally re-weld the braces or the whatever.
The mounting surface, whatever
mounting
that you mounted
spots
to.
for the bumpers, and eventually ending up with a level flat bumper that cleared the engine deck lid cover. That was such a big win.
How long do you think it took because that's what I have written down, from going in that upper valence all the way through to this picture? How long do you think it took us?
I'm so glad I don't keep track, but I'm guessing 2 months.
We started in January of this year, January 2024. We did not have a level bumper until we left for spring break. 3 months.
3 months.
We spent 3 months to get that picture. That's a little depressing.
It is.
But boy, no wonder nobody did it before.
Yes. But Ian, we will forever live with the satisfaction of knowing that the deck lid clears the bumper the right amount. Yeah. It's not tilted down in the back. It's not left to right. The overriders and the bumper braces are perfectly centered in the holes.
Yes.
We had to re-weld the whole inside of those fender wells.
Yeah.
But it's also perfectly square right now.
It's absolutely fabulous. Yeah. 3 months worth of work.
Yep. Yeah.
That picture.
3 months of classes.
3 months
education.
3 months of education.
Schooling.
So, and then we go on spring break, and we come back. So now it's April, and we're in the front. And it's April, May, and these last just couple of months, you made me hack off the front of the car, Because I always make you do all that.
You do. It took me a year and a half to realize all the hard cuts.
This is going to be really dangerous cutting. Hey, Doug, why don't you do this? I got to have somebody to blame, and I don't want it to be me. I'll watch you. I'll hold something.
Remember one simple cut, and it was in the middle of a critical piece.
Yeah.
Like, here, will you cut that? And you're like, no,
I don't want to cut that. So,
it did look super funny when the nose came off, though. It looked kind of cool, a little Baja-ish.
Yeah, and of course, this is the original reason. So here we are from, whatever.
So knowing that I'm more of a mechanical guy than a body guy, I look at that and I think, ooh, that's going to be fun to work on that front axle beam and clean that up and paint it and put the lowering
adjustments
things in it. And I'm eager to get to that mechanical stuff and the reassembly. That's more of my sweet spot and love.
Well, and the way we ended up, the original front end had been replaced, but the reproduction was not very good. And the way we are putting the two of them together and ended up with a front clip and a hood.
And a hood.
And look at that gap. I went to a Volkswagen show, like I said earlier, this past weekend. And I see stuff a whole different way in both the work it takes to get something to look good and a certain amount of things I maybe wouldn't have noticed before that I do notice, but I also understand why. That to get a car to this level is a lot of work and skill.
Yeah. I think every exterior visible panel on yours is going to look immaculate. Yeah. If somebody gets really fussy and starts sticking their head underneath fenders or underneath, they're going to see some body panels that aren't stock or something. Yeah. Oh, that was fun to see.
Things to come. That's the everything we've done. Things that we have to go is I literally took a bunch of pictures of it today that I'm going to send to a painter.
Yeah.
Who says you show me pictures and we'll see if the guys want to paint it. And I'm hoping they like Volkswagens and want to paint it. But they can't do anything until winter or spring, which is about when we would have it ready, because we still got body work to finish.
Yep.
So more videos coming as we get into the fall. And then I would like to say a year from now, knock on wood, we have painted parts and it needs to get reassembled.
So
would
you do it again?
That is the question. Would you do this if you knew, if I could go back to 2019 and you knew the skill level you had and you knew the time it was going to take, would you have said yes in 2019? Because in 2019, I asked you, do you think you could fix the front of my car so I can get it painted?
In my mind, I thought we would disassemble it like, here's the nose of the car. We would do a cut up from the bottom. We'd bend it straight and then weld it back up. That's what I thought we needed to do. If I knew then what we know now about how much work the car needed, I would have said no.
Yeah.
If I knew then how much work the car needed and knew how working on it would go and how much we would learn, I'd do it again.
That's fair. That's fair.
So if I had known how much work it was, I might have said no. Now that we've gone through it and learned what we've learned, I don't have any regrets.
And I think I would probably say the same thing.
Yeah.
Where especially, of course, in 2019, it was still running nice.
Yeah.
I feel like in a lot of ways, the partial restoration I did and the 2 months and 2 days that I got to drive it.
Yeah.
Where it was like, this car could be so much more.
Yeah.
That really made me less satisfied.
I will look forward to seeing this Beetle and going for a ride every time I come over because we will have so much pride in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that journey with a friend and the memory and the learning that's what it is for me.
Yeah.
That's what I love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yep.
Love it. And, if somebody out there is restoring something, get somebody who is willing to take the journey with you. If not in the actual shop.
You just need a stupid friend.
You just need a stupid friend who's wise enough to say, we can do this.
Yep. For those of you that have followed along, thanks for being part of the Third Stall Garage. It's been fun to be able to share this. I love the people that have been encouraging along the way. I love the people that have shared comments and suggestions by email or by clicking a comment below. But God bless you. Hope you've got a fun project. Hope you have good friends like I do. Be a good friend to somebody and have a great day.
Whew. All right, Ben, now you got to turn that into 12 minutes.